Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Article Club. This is the show where we choose an article we're really excited about and we talk about it. And I'm so happy to be here with you.
Back at you,
It's so
sister.
nice to see your face.
Literally the same.
Right? Literally.
Literally the same.
Allison, tell us what we're reading today.
Okay, we today are reading an article called How I'm Fixing My Broken Attention Span. Subtitle,
Teach me.
The infinite scroll has ruined our ability to focus. Is wasting more time the key to getting it back? And this is by Rebecca Jennings in Vulture. She's a features writer for New York Mag.
Okay.
One of her recent pieces was about Alex Cooper's sexual harassment. So just pod within the pod, we're incepting you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is something that
I was going to say she's mother. She's like somewhat. She's Gen Z's mother, pod mother.
Yeah.
Not
I've got my
quite
own
ours,
thoughts.
but good for her.
Yeah, good for her. Good for her.
Go girl.
So this piece, I think, is something that people are talking about all the time. Like there's all these data that shows that people can't read long form articles or books, or like none of the Gen Alpha and Gen Z are reading anymore. And so Jennings starts the article talking about this book club that she has with her friends that is literally called the Difficult Book Club, where they read things that are like 1,400 page stories like Ulysses, Infinite Jest, like the stuff that you were supposed to read in high school and probably still didn't then.
And is it weird that I'm like, oh, this sounds so good?
Yeah, I know. There's this harkening back to our Type 2 fun.
Yes. It's like Type 2 article club.
Yeah,
I would say.
Totally. It feels like we're sort of this nostalgia generation because even the stuff she's talking about is this nostalgia for school or like learning or like this AI-free world. But the gist of the article is around focus. So there were some fascinating stats. So 20 years ago, an adult could focus on a screen without interruption for an average of 2.5 minutes. But that then shrank in 2021. It was 75 seconds. Or maybe 2012, it was 75 seconds. And then in 2021, it shrunk down to 47 seconds. So basically, we're on our way to becoming goldfish was my takeaway here. And we always blame the smartphones. Everyone's like, it's your phone that's ruining your attention span. It's social media. But it actually started earlier. It started with like emails and digital calendars and even like just your personal computer. That really, where you basically were getting assigned all of these projects. And this line really stuck with me is like, if you increase the number of things that you're working on, the proportion of your day that has to be dedicated to administrative overhead increases. And I feel like I hear this is like why I'm like even working on a company is like because of this administrative overhead. So you get to the point where this context switching back and forth from work to emails to meetings to Slack is like so exhausting that all your brain can handle is administrative overhead. So
and
it like
talks
can't
about
do
the
deep work.
expectation that because you have all those tools, you're supposed to be working all the time,
right?
And therefore,
capitalism.
It demands it demands this sort of like split attention, which then impacts our attention span. Right?
Exactly.
You have to be split in a million different directions in order to feel like you're getting everything done. But are you really getting anything done?
Exactly. And then she talks about solutions, which we can go into more. But let's start with just like whether or not this is a problem.
Oh, my Lord. This is such a problem for me that we've talked about this a little bit on the pod. I've tried all sorts of different things. I think you have really good hygiene when it comes to the smartphone, also known amongst some people as my precious, right?
Do people actually say that?
Oh, a group of people, the group chat calls it the precious sometimes.
Wow.
It's like, it's just this highly addictive thing that you can't let out of your sight. It is the precious. It is like the ring in the Lord of the Rings. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I too thought it was interesting that she really starts with, okay, we know Instagram is addictive. We know the smartphone is addictive, but this started way before that. Just like the multiple tabs in your head, the ability for somebody to contact you at any given point in time. But for me, it is an absolute issue. My reflex is to go back to the phone, and I also have excuses for it.
Yeah.
And the main one is I'm a mom, right? So I know I spend too much time on my phone. I've tried all sorts of things to not do that, and yet I tell myself, oh, but I have to be reachable.
Yeah.
Oh, but I have all this connected tech. I can see baby monitors anywhere in the world.
Totally.
If I have Wi-Fi, I don't even need Wi-Fi, on my phone. So
he calls this.
I'm enabling it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm a mom. I have to be able to
He
be
calls
reached.
this like that what you're describing is this phenomenon of like, well, I mean, it's a little bit what you're describing, which is this phenomenon of pseudo productivity,
Yes.
which is like you're not
That is
actually
so
doing
me.
anything meaningful, but you feel like you are. So
Well,
you keep going back. You're like, okay,
yeah.
I've gotten through my emails, or
Yeah.
I've finished all my texts, or like I've done stuff on my phone, so I'm being productive
Okay,
with my
the
time.
pseudo productivity is slightly different than the like for me than the umbrella of I have to be accessible at
available.
all time, and
Yeah.
therefore the check to make sure did my husband or
But then
is
you
there
get
something with
going
the
down
kids?
a rabbit hole.
But the pseudo productivity, I have a to do. I just have a to do list in my little notes. And I just when I check that shit off, it feels so good.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if I've checked a bunch off, I get this sort of high.
Right.
Right.
Regardless of like whether
Ba, 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 ba.
objectively you were actually productive.
Or if they're even that important. But
Totally.
it feels like, I'm going to knock these things down in my day. So anyways, I very much struggle with attention span, almost to the point where even coming to read this article before we met up today, last night, I was like, should I put on some trash TV and grab the article? And I just had this moment of like,
I can't even focus on this article.
I can't even sit down and
Yeah.
and I print mine out on purpose. I know you use your computer, but I'm
Yeah.
like, this article club is a point for me to be able to just like analog read and take a pen and go through it. And for some reason, it was hard for me to even do that.
Well, so I think this is also timely. My boss had sent me a text yesterday about a tweet that she saw that was literally it was like a video. I'm sure it was probably an AI created video, and the subject line was that attention is the new oil. Like
Yes.
attention is the new currency,
Yes.
and that like now all the large companies aren't oil companies; they're media companies,
Yeah.
and like things are being pumped at the masses, and so like no one knows who to trust anymore. So like if you can capture people's attention for a protracted period of time,
like
then
ChatGPT turning into a for-profit company that is paying for attention.
totally.
Right? It started as this like let's create AI in a really responsible way that's going to create value for the entire world, and now it's become
Totally.
a competitor of all of these other companies that are vying for our attention.
Yeah. Okay, but there are some people out there, according to
Oh,
Jennings,
yes.
that are claiming that actually we're not in
We're
an
just
attention crisis.
attentionistas.
Yes, attentionistas. I loved that line. So there's
Yeah.
this guy at Northwestern, a history professor, Daniel Immerwahr, who claims that he's basically like, no, we're not an attention problem. And he's claiming that this is akin to the phenomena that Anglican priests experienced in the 18th century, who were basically talking about like the fact that the novel was now a new invention and it was going to distract women, of course,
From
from being obedient in their prayers. They're like, now you're not doing this. Like, it's bad for your mind. It's bad for your brain. You're not praying. You're reading. Like, it's horrible.
And God forbid novels written by women.
Right.
Jane
exactly.
Austen was like, oh my gosh,
Totally.
scandaloso. So yeah, he talks about basically anybody who's complaining about social media or sort of like snappier, pithier, short form video, TikTok, what have you, as a way of conveying information is somebody who has their chips in legacy media and can't get over the fact that, hey, this might be a new, better way to deliver information and a new, better way to foster community. And he basically says those people feel threatened because their jobs used to require sitting, thinking, being intentional in this one way, like reception of that like long form media.
Yeah,
that no longer
yeah.
exists.
I thought,
Well,
and
it sort of
I
exists,
did
but it's
actually
dying.
find his argument that that we are actually not like. He was sort of saying that just because we're not reading long pieces doesn't mean we're not going deep on things and like getting really into stuff. He's talking about like people are watching like multi-hour long live streams on Twitch or on YouTube, and they're like going into rabbit holes. They're spending hours on YouTube to quote unquote, I love this, doing their own research.
Yeah.
And actually that's a lot of attention. You're like,
It's a lot of
when you
attention.
think about video games, like they're taking a lot of your kids' attention. And he points out, and then some of these scenarios you are finding community. Maybe they're like super right wing, what was the incel communities, but
Yeah.
community nonetheless.
Exactly. And the big question becomes people are looking for community. People
Totally.
want to learn and connect with people and go in depth on things. And yes, it might be in a, shorter format than it used to be. But then how do you take those communities and make those communities kind? And
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And inclusive
Right. Well, I don't know that anyone's trying to do
as
that
opposed
right now.
to, I think,
But aren't all communities? I don't know that communities like can't. Most communities are founded around some kind of shared thing. So like,
Sure.
being inclusive actually, I feel like is a little antithetical to community.
But don't you feel like a community being open to what's going on in these other communities? It's good for us as a community to have an opinion, an open dialogue,
Sure,
a discussion,
sure.
like a membrane that is, people
Yeah. There can be openness. It doesn't have to be inclusive.
I'm just saying that's what would save the world. That's
that's
what would solve all the problems.
That's what I'm saying. It would just save the world.
Can I just say so attention span is totally an issue in my world. The other thing is like a physical manifestation of the attention span. And by that, I've been thinking a lot about, like, they call it tech neck.
Oh, yeah.
But like on the phone, like on the screen, doing a million different things, like hunched over, is just breaking my body.
I was reading this, not reading. I've been watching on Instagram.
I've been literally looking at my phone, trying to look at my phone up.
Because I was watching on Instagram, there was just a commencement speech that I can't remember now who the commencement speaker was, but she was talking about basically this phenomenon that literally there's data that shows that when you actually lower your head, you're feeling sad. It like creates all these negative emotions or sad emotions for you. And so she was just saying, like, I know people are on their phone. Like, this was in her commencement speech. She's like, I know people on their phones, but like basically bring your phone up to your face, like equal with your face, because that will actually make it a more positive emotional experience for you versus like the sadness of looking down at your phone.
I have felt that. I feel shameful and it hurts.
Yeah, it's probably a pose. Yeah.
Yeah, which is so interesting.
I mean, I go to fucking PT every other week and I pay like $200 to have someone fix my tech neck.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like, I went to a talk recently about GLP-1s, although I was thinking during this article that like our GLP-1s, they're talking about how GLP-1s are great for addiction, for, it's sort of a ancillary benefit. And I'm like, are GLP-1s going to fix our tech neck?
Whoa, fascinating. Allison, Grant.
But the GLP-1s talk that I went to was saying how, all of these like ultra processed foods spend $16 billion a year in advertising, and then we're paying, billions of dollars to use GLP-1s to fix the problem that we like are already spending all this money to advertise to. And it's like, it's just such a wasteful cyclical system. And I'm thinking about that as it relates to me spending all this time on my phone looking down at it and then paying PT to fix it, but then going back to do it because I'm like, I have to do it.
I know. It's almost like we need to make braces that come off our neck or something to hold our phone.
Hold our phone there. Yeah, so we're just like brains in a vat that are just
and then there you go with like Google Glass and all the glasses and all that stuff, or the microchip that just gets put into our brain.
Totally. Right. We don't even have to. It's just all it's happening in real time. Maybe that's what Johnny Ive is building with Sam Altman.
I guess. Right. I guess so. So she talks about a very unscientific poll. She just asked on her Instagram, how are people trying to extend their short attention spans? And people are saying back to the old lady crafts, using their hands, like doing things that you have to use your hands. You can't be on your phone. Pottery, crocheting, going for a run, although whenever I go for a run, I end up on my phone. I walk home
I think
on
about
my
things
phone.
I do on my phone, and then I'm like, well, I'm kind of tired. I'll take a break and just be on my phone.
That is the biggest problem. The biggest problem for me is the bookmark it. It's like, oh, shoot, I didn't buy that birthday present for that kid. Oh, shoot, I got to buy the groceries or whatever. And I'm genuinely afraid I'm going to forget it if I don't either write it down on the phone or do it in that moment.
Which has probably like happened to you.
Which has happened. And then I get so with myself when I do forget those things.
Yeah.
It's almost as if we need this like complete, you know what? You might not get done any of these things, any of these things in
Attitude
the day,
change.
and that's got to be okay. But since I entered school, it's been like the more you do and the more you get done, the better the kick is.
Yeah.
The more productive your day was, the more value you have.
Yeah. There's also some data around creating a physical barrier with your phone. Like if your phone is in your room, with you, you know it. And if you if you're in the kitchen, it's calling to you. I literally have my phone sitting right next to me, even though I won't be using it during this entire podcast.
Put it in the bag.
Yeah. Okay.
You're the one who told me. I think you're the one. I've been putting my phone in the bathroom and closing the door.
Yeah, create a physical barrier. Yeah, we put ours in our dining room.
But that's only because I make Charlie listen to the monitor on his side. Like someone's still, because our phone is our baby monitor.
Yeah, so he keeps his phone.
Yeah, on his bedside.
Couldn't you just have like a? We're basically trying to make our entire bedroom all analog.
I love that.
But couldn't you just have a like walkie-talkie? Like the old school monitors.
We could. We really like spying on our children. Some people
but what's
don't.
That about?
I know, Allison. It's about control. It's about, And actually, last night we got woken up like 3 times by my 4-year-old. My kids are great sleepers. Cannot complain. My 4-year-old, watches Bluey. Yes, we love Bluey.
Who doesn't?
Come on, yay Bluey. And she's this weird thing where she like howls like the Bluey dogs, like oh or whatever. And she just like howled like at 3 separate times in the night last night and like went back to sleep, but woke us up like all 3 times. So Anyways, maybe we should just let her howl in peace.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess we'd still hear the howls even if it was analog.
Fair. Okay, should we talk about some of the solutions Jennings talks about?
Please.
Okay, so I found the first set of solutions fascinating because it was basically people that are using the systems that are stealing your attention span to do it. So she talks about this. It's like these attention whore platforms are actually trying to fix your attention span. Yeah. She talks about a watercolor artist on TikTok that has a series called Attention Span Rehab, where you're just watching them do watercolors.
Great. And can I just mention they all have these super clickbaity headlines for people with short attention spans.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. She talks about other hacks. So there's digital gardening, which is like organizing your desktop.
I don't understand this one. Can you explain this to me?
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I fully understood it either.
Okay. It's like weeding out your...
It's like compiling notes on things. So I guess it's like, actually there's the company Cove AI that,
Yes,
I feel like they're sort of digital gardening company.
Shout out.
Yeah, Cove AI. Shout out to our fellow Uber colleagues, which is like you are compiling notes on things you consumed online and like building and like organizing them so that you're not like mindlessly doom scrolling
and
on
then
them.
You're
so
only
it's like,
allowing
this is my
yourself,
central point, I guess.
Then you're only allowing yourself to scroll within it.
Yeah, it seems like
or
it
like
really work.
Yeah,
not for me.
Seems like a lot of
I also love. I've seen this a lot. I think this trend started last year where people were raw dogging activities where they normally have their phones. So like raw dogging cross country flights where men just sit at their seat, they don't watch TV, they have no headphones on, and they're just like.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've
raw
ever heard
dogging
of.
runs.
Raw dogging makes me
dog
just
walks.
crack up. Even raw dogging a dog walk is hard to do. Like leaving the phone at home and you go on a walk because so much. I'm like filling my head. Even if I'm not on my phone, I'm listening to the podcast. I'm listening to music, instead of listening to the birds chirp.
Yeah.
The raw dogging on a flight, I will never understand. Like why force yourself?
I don't know.
These people they don't let themselves. It's like they raw dog everything, even analog, even reading a book.
Right. They won't read a book.
They just watch the flight map.
It's so good.
Hours. Also,
good content. Good,
how can
clickable.
Or some of them live stream themselves, which again is like
That's
so other
really
people. Yeah, I guess not.
It feels like a,
but also,
like
if you don't live stream yourself, how can anyone ever know you really raw dog?
Right, exactly, and that's the whole point, I guess.
Do you raw dog? Not flights, nothing crazy, but
I've been trying. In nature, I've been trying to do like if I'm going, if we're going on a hike, I try to leave my phone in the car. Because I'm like, what do I need this for?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to track on Strava? Who fucking cares?
So that's the other thing. I'm over this now, but like a couple years ago, I was like, oh, I need my phone because it like tracks my health and my step. I don't do step counting or whatever.
What are you doing with that?
I used to once in a while be like, oh, how many steps? That'll be interesting to know. And then during pregnancy, it was like, you're a lazy piece of shit. You haven't walked in like 3 months or like whatever. And I actually texted some friends at Apple and I was like, this is rude because there should be a mode, which apparently now there is.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Carly.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
What can I say except you're welcome.
You can say I'm pregnant, Apple. Okay, stop shaming me. But yeah, even like no, I have to bring it with me at all times because if I don't, I'm not getting credit for the to-dos. Yeah. Even just leisure is a to-do to get credit for.
Yeah. Well, and even, on my normal walks, like if I walk in the morning before work, I practicar español. And so I'm like listening to that.
Which is good.
Totally. I feel better about that than listening to a podcast or something, I guess. But and then they talk about meditation, like,
But that's probably helping your attention span. Like you're learning and helping the attention span. It's not the screen itself that is like, oh, this is objectively
I'm doing that.
bad.
I'm like committing to doing that for 30 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it's not like, doing something with media isn't.
And I can't, sometimes during that, I'll like, my headphones will interrupt me to tell me someone's texted me. And I'm like, I actually can't, like, I cannot listen to Spanish and practice speaking Spanish and text at the same time. So like, I have to either pause that and be like, my attention is shifting but most of the time I'm like, I only have 30 minutes on this walk. So I have to just
The only thing that's doing it for me right now is biking. Because you got to keep those hands on those handlebars, man.
And you're not, you don't have anything in your ears when you do that?
No.
Oh.
No, don't even give me that idea. Because
actually,
I'm like, whoop, can't check but I do stop. Like, I have this one spot I stop on the way home where I'm like, let me check, make sure nobody needs me, quote unquote. Nobody. It's everybody's fine.
There are these cool headphones that are like good for people who do outdoor sports, like, or you sweat a lot, that are bone conducting headphones. And so they don't actually go in your ears. They like sit kind of on your ears and they conduct the sound through the bone so that you can still hear ambient noise around you. So like if you're biking, like you could hear the cars and stuff. Yeah, through the bone. Bone conducting headphones.
Like a vibration in your bone.
I don't know how it works.
Up to
they're like $150, but they're supposed to be amazing.
speaking of headphones, on the
Yeah.
way here, I had this thought as it relates to attention span. The putting the AirPods in and getting the
Yeah.
like the noise canceling suction, that alone, just like it's as if I'm removed from the world completely.
Yeah.
Like so
Yeah.
so
In
I'm
a good
walking,
way or bad way?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but I do think it relates to attention span issues because
Or like all these highly sensitive kids, is it because we're like giving them all white noise and we're like
it's
not just like letting them be with the sound?
I'm walking down a physical street. By the way, some like random guy like screamed profanities at me. So I was like, I'm glad I have these in.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm doing 18 things at once because I'm listening to something different in this whole other space as I'm like moving through the real world. So I feel like that, I don't know, it just enables what is it about like filling your senses with so many things to make you feel, to like dampen down whatever anxiety.
Yeah. I don't know what that's about. For another podcast. Okay, so we talked about she talks about meditation. Then she talks about
Yeah.
do not disturb
Which
on your
doesn't work.
phone. I think Mario meditates every morning.
I'm kidding.
For
I'm
15 minutes.
sure it
I
does
wish
work.
but he was even saying I used to be so good at like blocking. He said to me this morning, I had two thoughts this morning, two things I was thinking about while I was meditating this morning. And I was like, my love.
You can't do that.
Is that the whole point of meditation? And he was like, I know.
No,
I
let
used to
the
be
thoughts
really good.
flow,
He was like, I used to be
Allison.
really good
Don't
at letting
reject
them
them.
pass. And he was
Yeah,
like,
let
but
them
I'm not
pass.
as good. But meditation and then do not disturb on your phone, which I feel like everyone,
Yeah.
every time I send a text to someone, it's
Yeah.
like delivered quietly.
Yeah, I know. I do the black and white thing, but now I have a shortcut to turn it off so easily because photos. That's the other problem. Like my
Yeah.
phone with my kids
your
or whatever is
camera.
also camera.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Jack Dorsey was the one who was like, turn it to grayscale. That's in the article.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
now
he
I'm like,
came up
ugh,
with that. Yeah. Now you're
no
like,
shade,
whatever.
But I thought I was unique. One thing that has worked for me is morning pages.
Okay.
We've talked about this a little
Yeah.
bit. This is something from The Artist's Way, if anybody has ever done that. Spoiler/confession. I actually haven't made it all the way through Artist's Way. It's like a way to reconnect with your creativity. But this is one of the tools that she pulls out. And the idea is just to write 3 pages every day of like nonsense, whatever, nothing that anybody's going to read, no judgment on yourself. And to me, it is a meditation that works because I'm doing something and then I sort of like clear out my mind of some of the to-dos, or I organize the to-dos and then they feel like they're more in my control. And I don't do it every day, but that's something, for some reason, like active meditation helps me more. And I tell myself walking does, but if I have my phone
Yeah.
in my hand, I end up on that. Right?
Totally.
So it doesn't exactly work.
Totally. She also talks about the solution called meta awareness, which is like noting when you're constantly checking social media news, which I feel like is, I don't know, I feel like I would do that for one day and be like all the damn time.
It feels like diet culture to me.
Yeah, it
doesn't
does. It does. Well,
All
it
the
sort of feels
things
like,
you
I don't
eat.
know. They talk about like the intuitive. I remember actually I had a coach once who we were trying to work on me loving myself more. And she told me to, every time that I like looked at myself or like was critical of myself, to just make a note of it. Like that I felt like,
Ooh.
oh, I don't look good in this, or like compared my body to someone else's body, to like make a mental note of it. And like my takeaway was like, at the end of the day was like, oh my God, all the time I was being like, oh, they're thinner than I am, or they're lifting heavier weights than I am in the gym, or whatever. So that actually was a good tool. So maybe meta awareness. Don't sleep on it.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know where I would begin with recording when I'm slipping up from an attention standpoint because it's so constant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
I mean,
exactly.
if you have, I need to get this done and this done, I need to do deep work, maybe then it's easier to go, ooh, I'm being distracted by this. Ooh, I'm being distracted by this.
Yeah.
But without that framework, I don't even know where I would start.
Yeah. And then the last solution, which I was like, well, duh, Jennings. Like, Rachel, give me a break, was building the kind of life that's full of replenishing empty space, taking a walk outside, writing poetry, your morning pages, chatting with a colleague, or anything that doesn't revolve around the pressure to produce. And I'm like, well, that would be great if society wasn't making us deep throat all of this content.
Exactly. There's no escaping it. She talks about taking breaks. And she talks about people who basically use some of these blockers and just plow through, often relapse into actually having less control over their attention span. Whereas I guess she's painting the picture of the ideal would be, okay, I have to get this and this done. I will take these breaks. I'll let myself check this or whatever, and it's okay. And that balance is what you're supposed to strive for. I don't know. Breaks. I build in breaks for sure. But
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not good at that.
Oh, my husband Charlie is the same. I'm like, just book the break. Just like put it in.
But then I'll just blow through it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So maybe it's like a know thyself kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm really productive in spurts, and then I gotta break, gotta take a walk, gotta do this thing or whatever,
Wow,
and then I
maybe
feel
I just need to
good.
give myself more permission to do that.
Yeah. If I don't, but it's not really
You
a
don't
choice.
feel guilty about it.
I don't feel guilty about it, and I don't do it as a choice. I'm like, this is just how I operate. Whereas Charlie's like, no, I have to focus. But he's also an engineer, and he as he explains to me all the time, like I am built, like I'm like so in the zone. Whereas what I do is much more like la la la, like.
Yeah, maybe I should just build in breaks and feel less
High
guilty,
level.
and I'll be more productive because I think I spend so much time just like toggling back. Where I'm like, let me get this Slack. Oh, now I got to do this thing, and now I'm beep bop boop, and then I'm like, where did the day go?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't ever book them. I'm like, oh look, I have 10 minutes. Like, let me get up.
Okay, well then maybe that's what I'm doing anyway, but I just feel guilty about it.
Don't feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
That's replenished empty space.
Okay,
as she said.
Great, fabulous.
Okay, so maybe that's the answer. Maybe my last thought on this is, you have a problem when the idea of watching a full movie without looking at your phone or any distractions scares you.
Yeah.
She talks about this movie, this beautiful movie that some people say is a good way to help, or watching a full movie.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy that we can't watch a full movie without looking at our
Totally.
phones, which is also a reason to go to the theater, put it yourself
exactly.
in a different space or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about like when I have no battery on my phone and the TV is on, I'm like, let me plug this in so that I can scroll. I can't scroll while I'm watching. I can't remember the last time.
We love to multi-device.
I just like really sunk into a movie without touching my phone.
Yeah.
I got to go to the theater, man.
Gotta go to the theater. Okay.
Well,
Shall we?
Let's move on
to
to
the next.
our segment that we like to call, because that is its name, What's Blowing Up the Group Chat?
You forgot it.
I almost forgot the name. What's blowing up the group chat? Allison, what's going on?
What's blowing up the group chat? Okay, so this is a little bit of a deep cut, but I feel like in the early, when Instagram first came out, we were all using it, like maybe like 5 years after it first came out, we were all using it to update everyone on all aspects of our life. It was like, I got engaged. Like I remember a friend who got engaged, and she didn't post, and she probably had been off Instagram for like a year or two, but she was like, I got to post the engagement on Instagram because like, how else will people know that we got engaged? So stuff like that, where you were posting like all your major life updates.
Do you remember the Facebook relationship status? That was it was like,
it's complicated.
It's
but yes, you were posting everything. So you were like, you had to post any major things, like I graduated, I got a new job, I like all these things you're posting on there. Now I feel like people are doing that on LinkedIn anyway. But this guy that I went to grad school with just recently posted this, like it was I almost can't tell if he was being nostalgic or if this was really genuine, but he posted a like wedding countdown Instagram. And it just was, it was so bad. I was like, this reads like 2015, where it said, it was like 3 months until like there's no escape. And then it was also like, are you the one who's not escaping? Is she the one who's not escaping? What's happening? Anyway, it was just like corny wedding countdown that I was like, we're not still doing this on Instagram. Like, what are you doing? And bad copy.
Or the hashtag.
Yeah, I don't think there was a hashtag, but there was the date of the wedding was in there.
Okay, was it templated? Like the countdown, was it like a...
No, this was a post. This wasn't even a story.
So it was like 3 months to go. Yeah. And then we assume...
Until there's no escape.
Do we assume he'll do a 2 months to go, 1 month to go? Or
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't follow
Okay.
him. This was shared around a thread.
Interesting. Yeah, I struggle with this a little bit with like... anniversaries and stuff.
Totally. Totally.
Like my husband and I were coming up on our 5th year anniversary, and it sort of becomes like,
that's a good question.
Am I going to
Mari and I just had our 1 year anniversary.
Congratulations. I didn't see an Instagram come
exactly
through.
Right.
There was
I know.
no commemoration.
No.
The weird part is, Allison, I would have loved one. Like I want to celebrate your love,
Totally.
And I want to see the carousel or whatever the meaningful moments. So like, as your friend who loves you, I actually am like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
Like if you posted a wedding countdown, I would be all about it. It's truly
right. So maybe there is some nostalgia in what he was doing. That's like the people that clearly I'm not close to him. I don't even follow him. But the people that are close to him maybe are like all about it.
I feel like one of our friends, Claire, is very good about this. She's like, no, we want to see the memories. Like, don't not give it to us.
Yeah.
Your people or whatever, which is nice. So, I mean, as we sit here being snarky about somebody else's choices, maybe like I don't know. I want to see yours.
Yeah.
But that's maybe because we don't get much.
Yeah. Okay.
From you
Touché.
on the gram front.
All touche. Okay, what's blowing up your group chat?
A hard pivot in a different direction. My group chat is blowing up with, and I'm going to say it, this is a mom thing, and it just is, and that is where I am at right now. My 14-month-old boy is battered and bruised like a boxer because he is falling on his face every day. He's a new walker, but he like sprints and turns in different directions. So baby proofing is what is blowing up my group chat.
Did you have to baby proof with Tavy?
Here's the thing. No.
Oh.
It's I always thought Tavy had a ton of energy and was sort of like, I know how to like what you hear about boy energy, quote unquote, or whatever. Turns out she was quite careful physically.
Okay.
You know, she sort of toddled along, and he just like sprints and
I think some
in
of this
circles,
is also.
other circles,
I think this is also second born.
Second born
Mabel
chasing.
is the same. Mabel's like a fucking bruiser. She will hike you'll look. I mean, when we were in Kiowa, she was hiking. She was on this like playground thing that was literally for 12-year-old plus. That she had climbed up this rope basket thing, and then was in this thing that her feet weren't even big enough to like she kept sliding through these like rope things that her feet were just. She was like in a little like a parachute caught in a net almost, but she was happy as a clam.
This boy was a preemie too. Yeah. And at 12 months, it was like spinning in circles or whatever. No, he has whatever. These babies have just like zero, and he hurts himself, freaks out, and then keeps doing it. It's like the strangest thing in the world. So we actually called the pediatrician because
we called the police
because I was like, there are bruises, like there are literally cuts and bruises on my baby, and like, is he going to concuss himself every day? Like, what happens? Should we put a helmet on him? They were like, do not put a helmet on your baby. Like their skulls are actually strong. Here's when you should like actually be concerned or whatever. So baby proofing is in the group thread. I'm open to suggestions, but also I don't want to make my house ugly. It's like this really, it's like this debate between my poor child and his face. And even if we gate things off, like it's not just about sharp stuff. Like he'll just like do something crazy and then just like clunk his head on the floor. Like I can't not have a floor.
Right. Like stairs, like where you got to gate all the gates.
So he only wants to go up and down the stairs. That's a nightmare in and of itself. But like, it's not just pointy things, and it's literally having a floor and a roof and walls. It's like, so.
Gotta just put soft landings everywhere, I guess.
I know we have some like carpet. The places where we have, carpet are contained. We're seriously thinking about like maybe he needs like a cage upstairs. Like a ring, like a bull fighting ring.
Yeah.
So any suggestions? Throw them at me.
Okay.
Baby proofing, but
stylishly.
I also can't
with
like
taste.
at my stairs. I like can't
tasteful baby
screw
proofing
in on one of the stairs. It's one's whatever.
Yeah.
The gate. So
cool.
Anyway, okay.
Attention
span.
Yeah. Well,
baby gates.
As you can see by the way that we pop to and fro topics, our attention span
quite low.
Cool.
That of a gnat.
I mean, hopefully yours is okay because this is about a 30-minute podcast. I hope you stick with us.
Truly,
the whole
and
thing.
You know what? This whole Article Club exercise has been an exercise in stretching that attention span. Printing out those articles, reading them, sitting down and having a conversation. It feels really nice.
Give it 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.